I still on?
It's the Jim Fannon Show.
It's a pop-up, but it is Thursday night. It's about 7:30 your time. Jim Fannon Show Live. Primo is the guest. Buckle up and strap it in. Welcome aboard. Ow. Please unmute yourself, my brother. Where's my Zoom? This is Instagram over here. I don't want to minimize. Go check out the Primo on the Insta. And here we go. I'll drag it over here. I don't want to minimize the Zoom meeting. What up, Primo?
How you doing, my friend?
Good. I'd like that picture of that first video that we're going to watch maybe on Instagram. First of all, how you feeling? How you doing? How's the family? What's morale like? How's your health? Tell us everything we need to know about like you and how you're feeling.
All right. It's like a roller coaster, Jim. Up and down. You know, there's times where things are feeling really, really good, and then there's other times where the stress takes over. But I think overall, I can tell you that I'm feeling a lot better than I did about a month ago, about the state of our country, about the state of our future, and about Canadians in general.
That was fucking boring. You know what? Here's where I'm at. I've been trying to stay away from this. Cancel culture followed me to the Dominican Republic. my broker,
really?
Oh yeah, my brokerage is actually getting emails, not to trust me with young children and women, and that I hate the marginalized. For real. Canadian guy 19 with a K at yahoo.com, whatever. And so, I left Canada just in time, a week before the lockdown. Lockdown, like you can't fly to Canada without a vax. And I'm trying to make a living down here. What am I going to do? Wait tables? No. I'm not getting into construction for $2 an hour. No, like labor's super cheap down here, but I love it. You can eat home-cooked meals on the side of the road for $3. Like, seriously, you get 3 of those a day, you're good. Now, there's other costs, obviously, but... So I've tried to not watch. DJ Timmy Turnip said to me the other day, the first Saturday of Ottawa, he goes, "Why aren't you broadcasting this?" I said, "Because I don't care." He goes, "Well, for the clicks then." I go, No. I'm standing in my pimp daddy office trying to sell real estate. And then I broadcast Max Bernier and Randy Hillier, the press conference yesterday. And my blood instantly went patriotic. I've never been, so I don't remember another time of such national pride that I felt watching those guys handle questions and vindicated in a certain way, because my scripts have not changed for 2 years. I've been against masking children since the first time I met Shandor's child. And I've had a broken heart ever since. Like when Trudeau got reelected, I went into a deep depression. Not deep, but yeah, enough to keep me off the air. Like I didn't want to broadcast. And I thought that post-traumatic stress, whatever you call it, post-election depression, I truly thought it came from being a candidate. But it didn't. I wasn't a candidate this time. And I was crushed again. And watching humanity mask their children and wear masks outside at the beach, walking alone. I'm in a perpetual state of a broken heart. And when I watched that press conference, I was like, this changes everything. Like, this is actually going to make a difference. They're talking about expecting a convoy at the Super Bowl this weekend. A Canadian-style convoy, they called it on Fox. And these guys are there with one purpose. It's been clear from the beginning. They're not negotiating. They want the mandates dropped. A lot of people are on their side. You might even say it's the majority of people don't want to be told what to do with their body or their children. And so as much as I've tried to look away and not be enthused and not be engaged, I mean, some things I haven't been successful at, like Hirji and LaFleche and Kerry Porter and all the madness that goes on at home. Yeah, they got me because I can't look away from the Rob Gills and the craziness that is the left. And remember, I'm a 10-time Green Party candidate. I was the left for 10 elections, including running for leader in 2006. And so I'm feeling for the first time, I didn't get the feeling when I watched the trucks roll, and maybe you guys did when you were standing over the overpasses, and maybe you did when your glasses flew off when you're maybe you did when you saw the truckers and the jerry cans and all that kind of stuff. But that's where I'm at. But I mean, I could talk about this. I haven't talked about it, but thank you for being my guest because it gives me somebody to bounce it off. So anyways, tell me about what's going on, what your take is, what you've done. You've been there every weekend, or just tell us more about like what's happening in Canada. Because for the first time, I'm thinking, shit, if I had been on this from the beginning and I was at home live broadcasting, my channels would have exploded. What's his name today? Jim Kerr says, oh, we got 1,000 views on my last video. Thanks, everyone. Because people want to see it. And
put it this way, Jim. Sorry. I was going to say, put it this way. There's a gentleman right now on Instagram, and his name is Shots by the Hill, I believe. And the concept of that name is that he's just at Parliament Hill. And his sole intention is he's got a camera, and he's just live streaming every day from when he wakes up until he goes to bed. And he's putting on his live stream, if you want to donate to the cause and bless this man, because I've been watching him, people are donating to him.
Wow.
And they're taking the money, like he's taking the money and he's going up to trucks and handing them a 20, handing them a 20, handing them a 20. He's doing this all on live cameras. But the reason I'm saying is I noticed today that this gentleman, he's close to 15,000 followers on Instagram, and he had an account that had nobody on it. He just started this.
Good for him,
when
man.
he went,
I love to see guys
to the
blowing
hill.
up. I don't care what reason you blow up, as long as you're doing it with some moral integrity or a little bit of backbone. But that's a great story, man. I hope everyone blows up. You know what I mean? Like Shandor's broadcasting right now. Did you see me chirping you in the comments? I'm like, aren't you late for an appointment?
No, I missed that part.
Yeah. So
I missed that part.
I'm proud that he's got his OBS working and that he's taking a shot at it and he's doing it. But it can become, it's tough to get up for it, to be honest with you. It's not an addiction, but I feel some pull back to it all the time. And I know your channels certainly have jumped. And you've been picking, or you've just been making friends with the right people, and they come on your stream, and they got 50,000 followers or whatever or more. I don't know. Jimmy down in the States seems to bring you a whole lot of action on your Insta account.
Yeah, yeah. I think my thing is I'm so consumed by this cause, rightfully so, that like even when I'm at home, I can't take a break from it. So I've realized how ridiculous the legacy media is, and my goal is to just absolutely overthrow the media. The media. You get what I mean by that? Like, we realize that the media has been the biggest issue behind all of this. So if I can try and contribute to putting the truth out there and real clips of what's going on, and people dancing in the street and people loving in the street, and seeing such a diverse culture of human beings coming together from all different walks of life. Well, I want to capture that and I want to put it out there because, the legacy media is saying the complete opposite's going on. And I don't know if you've seen last night, but there's some good news in Canada brewing. Fox News has shown up in Canada, and they are covering everything that's going on in Parliament Hill right now. And there was some rumors that the police were supposed to come in pretty heavy-handed, and they haven't yet, with the riot gear and all that. And some people think it's because, Fox News is planted all over the city now, ready to capture all this on camera, because we know the CBC and the other government-funded media sources would be turning off the camera and not there for that.
Yeah, I wonder if the Fox News had to quarantine at the border when they came over.
That's a great question. I'm not too sure what the whole situation
Did you
is.
see that?
I'm just happy to see them there.
Did you see the underground parking of the sold out hotel the other day? It's empty.
Yeah.
It's a sold out hotel.
Yeah.
You cannot book a room in it because all the rooms are booked by the government, apparently. And the parking, the lower level parking under the hotel is empty. There's not a car there.
Yeah, so the last weekend I went up, I called the hotel I stayed at prior, the weekend before. I'll call it Antifa's hotel because it was absolutely infiltrated when I got there. The first people I seen were people I didn't want to see, but that's all part of the game, I suppose. And I said, I'm a returning customer. I use you guys often when I travel. Can I get a room for this weekend? And the gentleman goes, we're not taking any more reservations. And I go, wow, that's probably a good thing. You guys are all sold out. And he goes, oh, no, we're not sold out. We're not taking reservations. And then I go, well, what do you mean? I'm a loyal customer. Yeah, I want to take my wife out. What do you mean you're not taking reservations? And they go, well, I'm not really supposed to talk about it, but I'll just be straight with you. Our hotel's all full of police officers now, and the government is buying up all the rooms. So
wow.
I didn't tell you that, but maybe now you'll stop bothering me about it. And I go, you know what? I appreciate the truth. I will stop bothering you about it. Have a good one.
Awesome. Has there been an impact over maybe not over the last 2 years, because, well, you can go into that as well. Tell me about the recent impact on your family, your kid, your relationship with your wife. I mean, I know she's in it with you, like you guys are kind of like a team, but at some point, does she ever come to you and go, oh, dude, we gotta tone it, dial it back a bit?
To be honest with you, the best thing about her is that she realizes how important this fight is, and she really truly believes in me and thinks that I have a really strong, calm, the right approach to this situation. She really believes in me, so I'm blessed to have her. That doesn't happen. However, I can definitely see when I need to take some time and spend that with the family. Like I do definitely get caught up and consumed, or I'll be like,
right,
okay, tonight's our night, we're gonna watch a movie, and then all of a sudden it'll be like somebody else is calling me to do an interview or something, and then I'm like, oh no, I forgot about that. So I definitely need to get myself like a little schedule book or something and start writing things down, because it's a lot, and I forget, you get so busy like today, for example, even I kind of thought today was going to be like a chill day, and then I realized I had a meeting this morning, and then my buddy from New Zealand, and now we're talking, and then it just shot in the back of my head. I'm not too sure if I'm supposed to be going on the Kevin Johnson show tonight at 9 or not. I can't remember. But, it's all, now that there's some momentum moving forward and we're seeing some progress, I think we're both just happy to do what we can. But she's an absolute rock to my children, her children, our family. And we would not be able to be fighting this battle the way we do if it wasn't for her. So,
well, God bless you both, man, and the kids. Speaking of schedule book, we should make an announcement on what we talked about today.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
You make it public, man, because
I
then
think
you're
I'm going to
committed
start doing
to
it. No, it's a great idea.
Yeah, because then you'll have a whole nation of people that are going, how's it going? How's it going? How's it coming? How is it out? Like, when's it going to be out? So I don't know. I think you're the perfect guy for it, and I believe in you too, man, because you're doing what you love for the right reasons, and if you believe in a higher power, it's your calling right now. You're in the perfect spot. We all are, really, to make a difference, to do whatever God has called us to do. He's got us right where he wants us. And sometimes we don't like it. And sometimes we get in the way and we go down the wrong road, and then we crash and burn. And then we come back and they go, okay, maybe he doesn't want me down this road, So if you want to make an announcement tonight, I don't want to be too happy to tell the nation that, one of our greatest fucking freedom fighters is going to fucking jot all this shit down, document the stuff, and one day tell the story to our grandchildren so they don't have to fucking go through this ever again, Robbie.
Never again. I think, that's not to get too off topic quick, but I don't know how that looks like, but we need to make sure when this corrupt system gets brought down the correct way, peacefully and lawfully, we need to make sure that we find a way to make sure that we never let these people have the power that they currently have, because we have just been oppressed to the point of no return.
YouTube, Paul Kimber says, God bless you, Primo. And Frank Kreitz, my bro from Welland, who I jumped in the car with after Trudeau left the hotel and we all got deked, says, thank you so much for your work on this, Rob and Jim. Sincerely. Jimmy Hopkins is coming in. Do you know this guy?
Jim Hopkins?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well, let's see what he says. What's he going to do? If he trashes this, then
sure.
Fine. We'll let him in.
That's
see
fine.
What happens. I put the
I'm bad with names, but I could know them.
Jimmy, you're live on the show, bro. Are you coming on camera or what? Oh, no. Okay, there you go. That's fine. That's a hideous, what do you call it? Avatar. You're on mute, too. You want to say something to Primo? Unmute yourself.
Show your face, Jimmy Hopkins.
Nah, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
All right. Well, what are you doing here then, dude? It's a Zoom meeting, dude. If you want to jump in and say something, you say something.
I'm medical help.
There you go. You what? Okay, he's gone.
They're in medical health?
What did he say?
Let's talk about it. I'm in medical health.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
All right, we're not taking any more clicks from the trolls unless you're going to say something. I need a producer to screen my calls. Getting off topic here. Anyway, yeah. What's the book going to be called, bro? The Fight for Canada. The Fight for Canada.
I don't know.
By Rob Primo.
Yeah, I know, right? Man, you know what, though? Like, the one thing I realized from this whole... let me know how you feel about this, too. From this whole situation that's happened is... as people, we hold a lot more power than we realize. And we have to make sure we channel that power in the right direction. But I think we've been so good for so long that we were scared to stand up for what's right when it wasn't popular. And I know I wasn't one of those people, and you definitely weren't one of those people either, but it's okay that you were one of those people, if you were and you're a viewer. And I think it's just, we realized that, you know, by my strong voice and maybe you showing up at some protests and us doing what we thought could spark something, couldn't really do as much as we'd like it to do until all of Canada felt empowered by these trucks and came together and simply just stood strong. Because I can tell you, as somebody who's been there multiple times now, and gone home and gone back and gone home and gone back, that everything that's going on in this city is completely legal. It's completely lawful. And it's just absolutely crushing the narrative, the mainstream narrative of what we are, who we are, and what we represent is completely false to what they're saying. The only thing we represent there is love, peace, unity, and this flag right behind me here.
Shit, now I'm getting inundated with requests to join the group. Can you hear all the people digging in now?
No.
Copper Watterson, I dislike terrorists. Ben, James. Maybe we're getting spammed like shit now. Did you share this? Oh my God.
No, I didn't share it, but like legit, I'm not just saying this. Antifa tends to follow me and jump on all my lives and stuff like that.
Really?
So you know what? Did you tag my Facebook page?
No.
No?
No.
In your stream right now, I'm not tagged on Facebook?
No, you're not.
Oh,
That's funny. Yeah, these looks all.
We can talk to trolls if you want.
Joe, we should talk to trolls. C. Hudson. Can you hear you can't hear all the digging?
No, I can't hear them.
All right, let's try another one. Let's see. Wow, we're getting slammed, dude. This doesn't normally happen. Okay, well, let's see here. I'll change the view. C. Hudson, he doesn't want to say shit. He's got a black screen, you're muted. C. Hudson, you're live with Rob Primo. You want to talk to him?
Hi, C. Hudson. Good morning. Oh, you must be from somewhere else in the world. We're at nighttime here.
Rob, I haven't seen you for 40 years, but we both had a blessed childhood there in Welland. That's not true. Nobody had a blessed childhood in Wheeland. Hope you and your family are well. Our kids are worth the fight. That's from Paul Kimber on YouTube. All right, fuck
40 years. I wasn't even born, but you know what? They're probably talking about my dad because my dad has the same name as me.
Oh, okay. I'm going to put this over here. Luke, W, Nick, Joe, Mr. Lander, Jeff, and iPad. 5 of them. All right, well, I don't know how to turn this off now. So we might have the doorbell going all night from Antifa trying to get into fucking spam Rob Primo. Oh, well, I guess that backfired a little bit. Kreitz, what's up, man? He says, LOL, I absolutely had a blessed childhood and well. Shut up, you did not, Kreitz, except that beautiful wife and child that you have. Maybe that's okay, you are well.
Yeah, Frank's holding it down, man. Frank's a good guy. I love Frank. I appreciate Frank. Frank, I'm not going to talk about it on here, but Frank sent me a really cool message a couple of months ago, and yeah, he's a solid guy. He's a good guy.
All right, what else is going on, Primo? You want to watch some stuff from your YouTube channel, or?
Yeah, if you want to watch my Instagram, right? If you want to check a couple things out, I can talk us through it or explain what's going on exactly.
Yes, we do this. Wow, I'm overheating over here. turn the fan off while I talk. And it's 88,000 degrees. All right, you won't be able to see this, but you can hear it. The first one's what's the first one? Hergy? Tell me about the leaked letter from Hergy. You sent it to me, and I just said, God bless him. But, you know, I guess I'm kind of like so resigned and cynical that I look at it, I go, oh, yeah, it's probably a leak. Yeah, I probably could work it for, you know, clicks and stuff like that. And I'm just like, and then I see Shandor shared it on Twitter the other day, and fuck, he got 50 retweets. 50 retweets. I haven't had that since I had my old Twitter account. When it was the
so now this is probably, I'm assuming, well, here's the thing. There's the leaked Hergy letter. And then the other day I had individuals, more than one, who work at Niagara Region Public Health, put a document in my hands from their email.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
And that's the one you're talking about. And now what's going on here is Dr. Hergy, who I think he thinks he's the doctor of North America. I think he thinks he's Anthony Fauci. He's letting his personal opinion out on Niagara Region Public Health. So he's trying to let all of the people that work underneath him know what the region's stance is on it and how they feel about this convoy and that this is happening and that's happening. And I mean, I know one thing for sure. I know Dr. Hergy wasn't in Ottawa for the past 11 days. So personally, I don't think he should be talking about what's happening because I don't know where his information's coming from because the Ottawa Police Service hasn't complained about any violence. And he's talking about violence. So I'm not too sure where it's drawn up from. I'd like to see the footage of the violence because when I spoke with police boots on the ground, there was one case of violence and it was a counter protester who came over and assaulted an individual who was part of the peaceful protest. But there are, you know, I can say with that being said, it's very frustrating because I'm just an activist and people don't want to come out and speak for themselves because they fear the repercussions. And there are a lot of people who work at Niagara Public Health right now who are very, very uncomfortable working underneath Dr. Hergy and under the words he says and the things he says. These people don't even want to go to work anymore. They're absolutely defeated and depleted. And I keep trying to say to them, you know, you guys got to all come together and speak to this because, you know, it's not fair for you to have to side with an opinion that you don't agree with. You shouldn't have to just take that on, you know, and to speak to that, you know, I just had another meeting with a group before I met with you, and it's a group of teachers, and they're very upset about a message their union put out, and rightfully so, because we pay union dues, so our union represents us, so we should be getting together as a collective, as a union, and if we're going to put out a message to the public, well, we need to decide what that message is. We can't have one person, Karen Brown, who sits at the top of the ETFO union, put out a message for all of us without talking to us about it. So there's a lot of teachers now who are really upset, and they can't go to their union and explain that they're upset because their union's already taken this biased stance. So they're paying a union to represent them, and before their union consults them, the union's going ahead and putting a message out there that they didn't approve. So now we got a whole bunch of teachers that are upset and they can't do anything about it because, like I said, the people they pay to represent them have gone ahead and done it. Sounds a little familiar, eh, Jim? Kind of like we pay a system to represent us, but they're not doing a very good job representing the people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's brutal, man. How you been handling the media requests? You seem to be getting a lot of them. Talk to me about Johnson. Is he getting has he got a big following or what?
Who's that?
Kevin G. Johnson, is it?
Oh, yeah. He's well, I know right now, like if I go on there, I just talk to Ed and Stefanos because well, Kevin's a political prisoner, and his voice is heavily censored. He's not, due to his bail conditions. I don't know too much about that, but I know that he's not able to speak. But yeah, the media request is a little bit overwhelming, to be honest. All of a sudden, a lot of people are wanting to talk, which I'm way more than willing to do. I like talking about this stuff. I think it's important to get it out there. But it's hard to keep up with everything, and then I've connected with a lot of people in different countries who want to do radio shows and things like that. So, like, even though I jump on Instagram a few times a day, like yesterday I was on TNT Live radio in New York broadcasting with John Matlin. He's running for Congress in New York. And, that was a radio show. So there's a lot of things that are, radio shows and they're not podcasts and things like that on video. So even though there's all these things going on online, there's a lot of shows and things like that I've been doing behind the scenes that aren't on there. So it's been super busy.
Right. Right now I'm showing your Instagram statement from the Office of the Premier of Ontario. Today, the Attorney General brought an application in the Superior Court of Justice, excuse me, for an order pursuant to Section 490.8 of the Criminal Code, prohibiting any person from disposing of or otherwise dealing with in any manner whatsoever, and all monetary donations made through the Freedom Convoy 2022 and Adopt a Trucker campaign pages on the Give, Send, Go online fundraising platform. Ontario injunction on donations. Do you know anything about this? It's on your page. You must be able to speak to it.
Yeah, of course. I put it up there. So what they're doing is they're putting a block on the money again after GoFundMe. So we're watching, this is straight authoritarian measures come into our country right now. It's obvious. They're taking money, food, firewood from peaceful protesters who have not done anything wrong. This is a crime in itself, and it's ridiculous. And I put that post up, and I was happy to see this is coming from our provincial government, and Doug Ford's daughter Krista, she's a friend of mine, and she commented on there about how ridiculous it is. And it's just, it doesn't matter who you are, who who you're related to. I'm just trying to say that everyone realizes how ridiculous this is. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because you're beating them all in the right ways. Mm-hmm. The media's failing, the media's falling. We're showing the real media. We're being peaceful, we're being lawful, and they're doing all these things to try and make people act unlawfully. And I believe it's so if a couple of people freak out and lose their mind, that our dictator can, enact the Emergency War Measures Act. And I think that's, at the end of the day, I think that's what he wants to do. And none of us want to see that happen.
If you could forecast, I know this is kind of dangerous, but, it's been 3 weeks. It doesn't appear that, what did somebody say to me today? I'm Trew.Tube or something.
I was going to say, we're going to have to see what happens tomorrow morning, because there's a meeting tomorrow morning that the Prime Minister has been invited to, Dr. Tam's been invited to, with the truck convoy. Very obviously, they were invited very respectfully and peacefully. So we'll have to see if they show up. I'm going to go ahead and guess that they don't show up, but we'll see if they show up. these people are coming on there. I don't know if you're watching their broadcast every night, but they're doing everything right, man. Like they're saying, you know, this is ridiculous that we've been here for 11, 12 days, whatever it is now. We don't want to be here. But how ridiculous is it? You guys are complaining about the state of the city and how frustrated the people are. Yet we're at almost 2 weeks now and you won't even sit down at a table with us. So if you really want this resolved for the people, would you not at least come and sit down at a table and hear us out?
You would think that that would lead to a better conversation and a more peaceful resolution, but you know the truckers have said from the beginning they're non-negotiable. There's nothing to talk about really. I think what the opportunity that they're giving them is for them to come and try and justify continuing their mandates and lockdowns. And as we see around the world in the States, out west, and all over the world, people are dropping it, saying Omicron, everyone's getting it. We got to learn to live with this. Same thing I've been saying since the beginning. You cannot contain the common cold. You cannot contain influenza. You cannot contain, and you know what? I got to be really careful with what I say because I want to leave this up. I want to be able to leave it up. And, you know, I gave some advice today to Trew.Tubers. If you say something like, I don't know, a certain device doesn't work to do whatever, you're taken down. It's medical misinformations. If you say that a certain, you know what you can't talk about, like you're done. Yeah. And you know, I escaped it because I uploaded it to my other two channels. They both got medical information strikes, but on Trew.Tube, the 1 hour or an hour and a half, I just said it at the end. It hadn't processed yet. So because the YouTube hadn't been able to transcribe it and look at the transcript, you know, with their bots, I deleted it, and it had. Oh shit! I left the convoy's presser up the other day, and that should have got me a strike. Or did I take it down? Because he had a couple of guys on there say some things that you can't say on YouTube, and I forgot to take it down. So far I'm good. I think I'm broadcast. Yeah, I'm on YouTube because Kimber's out there. So, anyways, I'm blathering, blah blah blah. If like, so what do you think's gonna? You think this is gonna end up in a calling in the war? You know, declaring a national state of emergency, declaring the War Measures Act, bringing in the military, forcibly removing, taking people away in cuffs, like because they're not going anywhere.
I don't really know what to think about that because I mean, this convoy has been very transparent, and you know the organizers have said things now like, well, we're going to tell you something, like we're more prepared than you think. Like if you take away the trucks on the road now, which they haven't been successful with, they said we've got 3 times the amount waiting, and we're not joking. And there's been other truckers and truck convoys in Quebec that have confirmed this information. So, I mean, it sounds like these people are definitely here to stay. And I think this is the most peaceful resolution, whatever you want to call it. I think this is how Canadians are going to dig their feet in the ground and stand up. And eventually, I feel like in due time, the tyrants are going to have to, start walking steps backwards. I don't know if you've seen, but you know, one of our prime minister's really loyal MPs broke ranks the other day and spoke against them. Did you see that, Jim?
Yeah, I did, and I think a third one came out today. Did they not? So yeah, we're starting to see
I'm not too sure about that. I hope that happened, but I know a second one came out yesterday. So. Yeah. I mean, we're watching every day the Liberal government break rank and speak against their leaders' authoritarian measures. So, I mean, I think at some point in time, there's going to be like a vote of non-confidence, I would imagine. And I would hope that he gets let go. I don't know how that works or how that looks. And I know that's not going to fix the problem, but I know it would make me happy to not have to look at his face speaking every day on TV.
Speaking of which, we're looking at his face right now. I just switched over to Fox News, Tucker Carlson covering the debate. And how come I've got no sound here? Oh, because I turned it down. Oh, shit, we just missed it.
So you don't have to hear anything they say. They don't even belong here.
Hang on.
We'll intern them.
Oh, I turned it down over here.
True state broadcasters have been repeating these
You can hear this, right?
over and over and over again for maximum effect. Pravda parroting Brezhnev. That's what they do. What's striking, however, is that the media in our country claim to be independent, but they've been doing the very same thing. Watch.
Some of the organizers of this protest, which, as I mentioned, started more than a week ago,
This is
they do want to overthrow the government.
Canadian officials calling the situation
overthrow the government.
a, quote, nationwide insurrection.
The police chief says COVID protests are a, quote, nationwide insurrection driven by madness.
A nationwide insurrection
CNN again.
driven by madness.
And just think of the language. I know it sounds familiar to you, right? A threat to democracy, an insurrection, sedition.
The police say that they are under-resourced and they are overwhelmed. They have said that this city is under siege.
It's not just truckers. There's a lot of, I've heard there's QAnon supporters
MSNBC
in the crowd.
QAnon supporters.
I've spoken to who say they feel terrorized.
Terrorized. Look at the people dancing in the street behind them.
Cult.
A cult.
There are QAnon supporters in the crowd. It's a cult. They're Nazis and they're crazy. Insurrectionists on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Imagine. Now, they're using these smears because typically they work. Just dismiss these people. Don't listen to them. They didn't go to college. But what Justin Trudeau apparently didn't count on is that a handful of independent journalists are committing journalism inside Canada.
Yeah, Rebel
and a free
News.
press works. That's why we have it, or did. So instead of repeating state-mandated talking points like their journalists do and the morons in our press corps do, these independent reporters have been broadcasting hours-long interviews with the truckers themselves in their cabs, totally unfiltered, so you can decide what you think. You can actually make your own judgment about reality. Wow. So you watch these streams for just a few minutes and you realize that these truckers, whatever their faults may be, are far less odious and much harder working than the journalists and the politicians who call them Nazis. Here's one 24-year-old protester who saved up and bought his own truck. He's an owner-operator now. He's losing hundreds of dollars every day because he's no longer working, but he says it's worth it because he's more concerned about human rights than about his own paycheck. You decide.
I agree with freedom of choice. So people should be, if you want to wear a diaper over your face, hey, go ahead, you know. I mean, you can wear a face diaper if you want, but why should I? Because of your fear, I got to wear it.
You know, this is where it breaks down. The narratives are crumbling, and for the first time in a long time, the people that support Justin Trudeau are seeing the bias in media, and it's absolutely filthy.
Jim, I've said it from the first time I heard anything about a mask. One thing and one thing only. If a mask works and you're wearing it, you don't have to worry about anybody else wearing a mask because you have yours on to protect you.
And if
no other argument.
If the masks worked, there wouldn't be contagion. There would be no spread. This is a contact sport. These viruses are not flying through the air, lodging themselves in your lungs or your nose or your ears or your eye cavities. You touch things that other infected people have touched, and that's how transmission, it's a contact sport, dude. Like, you're not, people wearing masks outside are mentally deficient. I'm sorry. And the people that are masking their children should be locked up and have their kids taken away for child abuse, because this is a developmental retardation of our children. This is a forced mental retardation of our children. And I say retardation not in the demeaning sense. We are retarding, slowing down our young children's speech growth by covering faces because they read lips to learn how to speak the language, you dumb fucks. Like, oh my God, when we start talking about the kids, I lose my mind.
Oh man, it's heartbreaking. I don't know if you happened to see a little reel I threw together the other day. A little girl, her mother in Saskatchewan, she came home from school and she said to her, guess what? And the little girl goes, what? And she goes, the mandates are canceled or whatever. You're going to get to live a normal life without the, without the mask on, and you don't have to get a vaccine to go to college next year or whatever. The girl was like crying, bawling her eyes out, jumping up and down, hyperventilating. And it's like, how do parents not see now what they have done to children? So many parents just didn't even stand up. They just let people tell them what to do with their kids. That is so wrong. We parent our kids. Those are our kids. They're not our government's kids.
Shit, Primos. You caught me mixing. You caught me mixing a drink. Has your tactics changed recently? I think Shandor put on Twitter the other day, he changed his mind. He's not pleading guilty.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, damn straight it is. And have your tactics changed at all in the last little while as far as how you're, we've seen protests outside of politicians' houses, and some people aren't down with that. And I know you think it's necessary, and whether it's effective or not. Well, ultimately, we want them to be uncomfortable. We're uncomfortable. Why should we be the only ones suffering? These guys haven't lost a check since this whole thing started. Lots of us are perpetually unemployed now. So has your tactics changed a little bit as the motor coach roars his engine out of the lobby here?
Yeah, I'm totally laser focused in on the trucker. What's going on in Ottawa. Like, if you were able to be a part of it, next time I go, I'll bring you live there so you can experience it. It's just, that's where the fight is right now. And it's not just there. Like, it's at the Windsor, Detroit border. It's in Ottawa. It's at Coots border. I just heard Manitoba shut down a border today. The Ottawa airport was shut down today. And a slow roll. I think people all over the country are just coming together, and they're disrupting for freedom. We're Canadians. We're not violent. We're not gonna, people aren't gonna do anything stupid as much as the government wants to make it look like we're gonna. We've been fighting this fight for 2 years now. Like, it's not gonna just nobody's gonna just lose their mind and act out of control. These people, to go through what they did and still be fighting and never submit to the jab. These are the strongest people you could ever meet mentally. Like, they will go the distance and just stand there and shine in their light until the corrupt system crumbles and says, you know what, we failed the people. And I really do think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to be something that happens soon, but Canadians are together in this one. And do you follow Raging Dissident at all?
Doesn't work anymore.
Fox is still talking about Justin Trudeau, and they just
he went for a federal plan to quote, exit the pandemic. In other words, he caved in the face of principled human rights protests.
So here, Jim?
That's how that works.
Oh shit.
Several members of Justin Trudeau's own Liberal Party are now.
Sorry, I had my Zoom muted. I just went back to Tucker. He's still talking about Justin Trudeau, and he just
described Justin Trudeau's vaccine mandates.
Just put a tweet up by Jughead Singh.
I fear that this polarization of the pandemic risks
another World Economic Forum dollar.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
You should. Can you just pull up clips on like Instagram, like on people's Instagram, and then we can play them on here, or no?
Yeah, sure. As long as it doesn't get me fried.
No, it's not gonna. Go to look up Raging Dissident 2. I'd like to watch that video with you and then talk about it, because he makes a very he's very well spoken with these types of topics, and he makes a very good point in it.
All right, so Raging.
Did you find him?
No, I'm going now.
Okay.
Raging
Dissident
2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So his latest video should be him by a Canadian flag, and it says something about along the lines of like he's given up on all the parties except for the PPC or something like that. You see that one?
Still loading for some reason here.
Yeah, no worries.
Why? Canadian flag. Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
So play that one. Let's listen to that and then talk about it after, and you can let me know what you think about what he says as well.
All right. Let me just see here.
It doesn't have
Mom
any.
and Dad say it's time for bed.
Like,
hang on a second.
You know,
I'm getting a bad.
You can kick, you can scream. You know, I had a conversation with an old army buddy of mine today. You know, we talked about this is like when Mom and Dad say it's time for bed. You know, you can kick, you can scream, do whatever you want, but one way or another, it's bedtime. You're going in that bed, whether you like it or not. And that's what this is. Sorry, government, it's over. Everybody in that building, you're all guilty. You're all a bunch of malignant narcissists backed into a corner. They've all condemned the whole demonstration. The Conservative Party, the NDP, the Liberals, all of them. You know why? Because they know they're guilty. And they know they're going to be held to account for what they've done, and they will be. They absolutely will be. They're so desperate. They're talking about helicopters. Well, maybe we could get a helicopter to take them out of here. Helicopters? What are you going to use the 4 Chinooks we might have in the entire Canadian Forces and airlift semi-trucks out of the city? Like what, 3-4 at a time? It would take you a month. Are you drunk? Are you actually drunk? I think they might be. A lot of stressful times people tend to drink. Police are coming, they're not coming. They're coming, they're not coming. The police don't want to be doing this. You get down there, you see them all the time. They're looking at their feet. They feel disgusting. You're down there telling them the whole world it's a bunch of terrorists and insurrectionists and all this kind of stuff. And they go down there, you know what they see? They see good hardworking Canadian people just trying to, stand up for themselves, supporting each other. And it's the most beautiful thing I've seen in this country's history. This is a national moment we're having right now. Right? And you're going to do what? You're going to ask them to go in there in what? Tear gas women and children and families? And are you suicidally drunk? How much are you drinking right now? It's over. Take the loss. There's no way out of this for you. There's no way. And it spreads every day. Every day, every week that this goes on, more and more people see what's going on. There's thousands of cell phone cameras down there. People are driving down. They're seeing it for themselves, and they're leaving with an entirely different impression than the one they came in with. And it's that you, the state, the media, are lying because you are, and it's obvious. It's on full display for the entire world. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. What are you going to do? You're going to break into these trucks and move them one at a time? What are you doing? What are you going to do? What's your plan? You don't have one. And there's clearly a lot of confusion and dissension inside the police as well. They don't want to be doing this. And in fact, they don't know how to do it. None of the towing truck companies will help them. You're talking about helicopters now? Listen, government, it's time to go home. You're drunk. This ends, we all know how this is going to end. You can either just admit defeat or drag this out and make yourselves look even more ridiculous day after day, week after week. Just keep digging that hole, boys. Just keep digging it. More and more people are coming. There's even more people here than there's been in the previous two. And this weekend, there's going to be even more people than the last two. And you know what more people means? It means more eyeballs. It means more stories. It means more video. It means more talking. It means more minds being changed. It's done. It's done. So if you want to be a malignant narcissist and get back into a corner and kick and scream and flail while daddy comes to pick you up and carry you up the stairs, you do that if you want. You kick and scream the whole way home. But, you had a good run. But it's bedtime now.
It's bedtime. That was not too bad.
I mean, I kind of sat down and watched that before, and then I was like, you know what? I need to totally get relaxed and listen to this guy. And I laid down and watched it again, and I was like, he's so right. He really is right. So this dude's he's an army veteran, and he served our country, and he's had enough, clearly. And I think what he's saying is right. they can only hang on so much longer, and they're just going to keep looking worse and worse and worse. And the collective of Canadians at the Parliament is just going to keep looking better and better and better. Like, the police have already come in there and stole food from people, stole propane heating, stole firewood. They took down a homeless camp that we had up for the homeless. They stole the food from the homeless. They're getting worse and worse and worse, and we're all getting better and better and better. So, you know how that story ends. Everyone goes looking like a villain, and I think they're going to end up leaving looking like a superhero. And what a lot of people have said, and this was very powerful to me, is I've heard dads and mothers look at the police in the eye and they say, I want you guys to know something. Our children, times are changed so much that our children are going to grow up. And when they grow up, they're going to want to be a truck driver. They're not going to want to be a police officer. They're going to want to be a truck driver now.
Imagine. We all played with trucks as kids anyways, man. It wouldn't be a long stretch to make them all jump in a cab. But you know what? Having said that, just like the first line, the first responders and people on the first line, the cops and the nurses and the doctors and the ER attendants, it takes a special kind of human being, man, that can look, the PSWs in the old age homes that watch people die all the time. Like, you need to be a special kind of person to be able to leave that stuff. And I can't believe that anyone's leaving that stuff. But my brother used to go with a girl that worked at the ER at ECMC, Erie County Medical Center across the border. And it's hell in that room. And the stories that she would tell. And I'm like, I could never watch it. I could never witness it. I couldn't even be there as a passive witness. Like, that takes a special kind of person. And same as truckers. You got to be wired for a long-haul trucker, man. This is a man, usually. 99% of long-haul truckers are men. Guaranteed. Mm-hmm. And no one's fighting for equality to be a trucker because women don't want to drive truck. But that takes a special mindset to be able to jump in a cab for 16 hours, stopping only to, for the bathroom and some food once in a while, and to be away from your family for 2 weeks, and to go on that long haul and then come home and reacclimate yourself. It's kind of like going away for a little while, not equating a trucker to being in prison, but it's kind of like, you're gone. You're away from the family, and you're all by yourself. And look at who they're picking on. They're accusing these guys that are locked in their own cabs and hardly touching anyone or having any interaction with anyone. Even when they get their loads, they're not even close to people.
That's right.
And finally, can you believe that these? Oh my God, I'm getting a time thing here. Did they cut you? Oh, you're cut. You're probably gone. We'll convert this. Well, that's an unceremonious goodbye to Rob Primo. Let me see here. Sorry, Robbie. Because I put it in the chat, we had multiples, and that's not allowed over an hour on my basic plan here. So we start a new meeting. And then we invite Primo back, just so we don't go out on that.
Recording in progress.
Thank you. Let me see. Invite. Sorry, kids, I should have been prepared for this. Copy invite. And then we go over here. My mouth stopped working a long time ago, but my mouse also is not doing so well. And then we'll go like this. Close this. You cannot minimize. Yeah, I know. Go back here. There's nothing to see here anyway. And paste. And if the trolls are that creative to pick that up, then good for you. I had like 15 trolls in there. Yeah, Antifa came to play tonight. We had like 15 people in the Zoom meeting because I put it in the description. Loco en la que pesa. All right, so I'll do this. See if Primo comes back.
Tell us a little bit about it quick.
Yeah, well, we obviously saw what was going on in Canada first, and then we just fucking jumped on as fast as we can. We were about 8 days behind you in total. So I think you guys were in Ottawa for day 8 when we let go, or well, when we first took off. So we had one convoy leave the top of the North Island last Sunday. And they travelled from the tip of the North Island to Wellington, which is the length of the North Island in New Zealand. So just so that...
What happened? What the piss?
People that obviously aren't true, racist, homophobes, xenophobes, all this stuff. Familiar situation in New Zealand or not really?
We're not doing. Oh, we're all sort of pitching in at the moment. Yeah.
Because I've come from Palma for myself.
Oh, well, we're ready to go. All right, so I'll just finish this one off. I'll come see you in a sec. Sorry, bro.
No worries, bro. Keep it going. Keep it going.
So the media-wise in New Zealand, it's exactly the same. So this morning when we left, there was a report on the news that only 3 cars had travelled out, which was a huge lie. They're saying that there's only about 250 people camping outside the New Zealand Parliament at the moment, which is a bunch of lies. We're looking at probably about 10,000. They're just more and more coming every day. So we're getting the race. Well, we're not so much getting the racism as much as like what Trudeau's trying to use to divide you guys. He's using the race card. We're not getting that as much, but we're getting the anti-vax, the fucking, the anti-government guys. We're the ones that want to just take down the system and all that sort of crap. So, which they're right, but hey, we want to do it in the proper way, not the way that they want us to.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're trying to do here. They're trying to say that it's similar to the insurrection that happened in America and whatnot, and everyone just keeps putting on full display that it's the complete opposite. So I'd assume that's what's happening there as well. Are people waking up to this? Like people that weren't? Are you seeing new faces? Are you seeing people who have the jab coming and being a part of these things with you guys as well?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, as soon as the first convoy went, I can be completely honest and say that I've never seen support in New Zealand like I saw on that day. Every overpass that we went under going through Auckland City, there was about about 100 overpasses. We went from one side of Auckland to the other. Every overpass was packed with people. We stopped just before in a small town. We got bread, food, cartons of Red Bull. It's just the support here. Like I have never seen New Zealand like this in my entire life. Like it's beautiful. That's the easiest way to put it.
Recording stopped.
I'm so happy to hear that. Now, how are you guys feeling the tension with the police? Are the police being okay, or is it like mixed? Some are okay, some are bad, or what's that like?
So yeah, it's exactly like what you said. We've got some good ones, we've got some bad ones. We had a little bit of a moment down there yesterday where they arrested 120 people. So they started dragging them out of the lines, but all the ladies and all the men actually got in there and just held the line, and 120 arrests. They were back out within an hour, and they were back down there. So
exactly. So that's what an arrest looks like there. I take it you get arrested and let go right away. That's what's going on in Canada too. Is there a difference sometimes?
There is sometimes, like, some of these people are actually getting arrested and holding their ground too, so they won't sign over their name, they won't sign over the bail conditions, and they're being held, obviously. But we'll stand with them too, you know, like they're the ones that are really, truly against this. So, yeah, there's a few being held, but we'll sort that out as soon as we can.
Yeah, and are people coming together and helping, like, fund with gas and food and those types of things?
Yep, 100%. Like, we got a message just as we were, not about to leave, but as we were pulling up to where we were meeting today, and sweet young, not sweet, a sweet lady, she came over and she filled our tank up for us because she couldn't come down, so she paid for all our fuel to get down here. And then, like I said, you know, along the way, people have been giving out donations and food and drinks, and it's just, you know, I've never ever seen New Zealand like this, and it's just fucking amazing and beautiful, bro. Like all at once, and I know that you probably get the same feeling in Canada too.
Yeah, everyone's just coming together and everyone's clicking, and it's beautiful. We're seeing things in Canada right now, like the Liberal government, their own members of Parliament are breaking ranks and speaking against them, and people that were ex-RCMP officers have quit that job, and now they're working with the people to try and reinstore some things. So there's a lot of bad going on, but when we really look at it, there's a lot of good things going on too. And I think it's important to stay positive and stay the course, like keep positive, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, you know, yeah, that's the easiest way to put it, is just stay positive, stay on top of things, and don't let their infiltration also bother each and every one of you too. Like, we're getting a bit of that, and we're getting a little bit of the bullshit too.
So now I got to ask, just for fun, I know we don't trust politicians, and we're on the same page with that. Are you guys trying to have certain politicians try and hijack the freedom movement now and act like they care all of a sudden that the people are coming together?
Not so much politicians, bro. We've had here in New Zealand since 2020. I've been protesting since our first lockdown in 2020. We've had they're people that are involved in government, but they aren't government, or they aren't politicians, and they try and start the political parties.
Yep.
And you know, there'll be 2 or 3 rallies they have, and they don't mention it at all. And then, like, the 3rd or 4th rally, they're like, "Oh, so we're going to start a political party," and you know. Everyone in New Zealand just goes, "Oh, fuck." Like, here we go again.
Yeah, you're like, we were just starting to like you, and now that's what's going on.
Yeah, sorry. We do have one politician. He's an ex-politician, actually. He was the ex-Deputy Prime Minister of New Zealand when Jacinda was when she first became Prime Minister of New Zealand. He's come out and said that he wants to speak to us, and that the politicians should all listen. So that's actually an ex Deputy Prime Minister that's actually talking about that. So, and it seems that during obviously his reign with Jacinda, as he was keeping her in check most of the time.
Cool. So where's everybody headed in New Zealand right now? Like, are they headed to Parliament, or are they just headed to a park, or are they headed? How are they? Not Australia, New Zealand. How's New Zealand taking that stance?
Yeah, we're just, bro, like, we've got a bit of a big Parliament grounds there that is just nice grass and all that sort of shit, and the Parliament don't like people walking on the grass, so guess what? We're camping on it instead.
Yeah, attaboy.
Yep.
Attaboy.
We've just literally pulled up outside Parliament, got tents out, and just started pitching them right on the Parliament grounds. So.
And the police, are they trying to take them down and all that stuff, or not so much?
A little bit yesterday, but, you know, as per usual, like in Canada, you would have seen too, it only happens when the media is around.
Yep, exactly. They want to. It's all a big show and a big movie theatrics that they want to keep going on, right?
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
Okay, well, you know what, bro? I don't want to keep you too long, because I know how busy you are, and I know you're with your crew. So God bless New Zealand. You guys are going to get through this. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through it together. We can keep each other updated. I just wanted to tell everybody,
Primo's doing a nice
here,
job
give Widos a follow. He's
in the broadcasting, doing the interviews.
Strong voice in New Zealand from the start.
Fucking guy's
and,
tight.
I think it's super interesting, man, to connect with people around the world that are fighting the same.
Nice job, Primo.
Ridiculous.
Shandor, nice job on your.
We're all just gonna
I don't know what happened to my sound here.
And come like together like we never have before, you know.
I just want to say to you too, bro, keep doing what you're doing. I've been watching. I've been keeping an eye on it.
I've been watching. We watching. What's going on with my headset here? Anyway, unceremoniously dumped Primo. My apologies for that. I ran out of time because Antifa came in to crash the party. That's okay. I'm going to go out for at least the time being with some of my favorite beats. And that would be Want Some. Fuck's sakes. What's going on here? Want. By Matty McPherson, one of my boys. This is Want Some from M Factor. Peace. Love. Oh shit, it's Thursday night. I got a date at 10 o'clock anyways. Gavin McInnish is coming on. I'm out.
Well, a new bill introduced by Democrats in the
Good night now.